Good evening and welcome to Artificial News 24/7. I'm Michelle. Here are today's top international headlines. Tensions escalate in Venezuela as the United States enforces a naval blockade under Operation Southern Spear. Iran faces widespread unrest as mass protests erupt nationwide amid a sweeping internet blackout. Global concern grows as the United States pushes aggressive Arctic policy toward Greenland while withdrawing from key United Nations bodies. We begin tonight in Venezuela, where geopolitical tensions have reached a critical point following the reported capture of President Nicolás Maduro. In response, the United States has launched what it describes as a targeted maritime enforcement campaign, known as Operation Southern Spear. The operation involves the U.S. Navy and Coast Guard working together to intercept vessels accused of violating sanctions on Venezuelan oil exports. According to U.S. officials, the objective of the blockade is to cut off revenue streams allegedly used by the Venezuelan leadership to maintain power. Over the past several days, multiple vessels have been stopped and inspected in international waters. Among them, a Russian-flagged oil tanker was seized in the North Atlantic after U.S. authorities claimed it was attempting to bypass the blockade. Washington insists the operation is legal under international sanctions frameworks. However, Caracas has strongly rejected that claim, labeling the blockade an act of economic warfare and a direct violation of Venezuelan sovereignty. Russia has also responded sharply, condemning the seizure of its flagged vessel and warning that continued interference could destabilize global energy markets. Analysts say this standoff risks escalating into a broader international confrontation, particularly as oil prices react to supply uncertainty. Meanwhile, regional governments in Latin America are divided, some backing U.S. pressure, others calling for immediate de-escalation and diplomatic dialogue. As naval assets continue to patrol key shipping routes, the situation remains volatile, with the potential for far-reaching consequences across the global economy. Turning now to the Middle East, Iran is experiencing one of its most significant waves of civil unrest in recent years. Large-scale demonstrations have broken out across major cities, including Tehran, Isfahan, Mashhad, and Shiraz. Protesters are voicing anger over economic hardship, rising inflation, unemployment, and long-standing political grievances. In response, Iranian authorities have imposed an extensive internet and communications blackout, severely limiting access to social media platforms and messaging services. Officials say the measures are necessary to maintain national security, but human rights organizations argue they are designed to suppress information and prevent coordination among demonstrators. Security forces have been deployed in large numbers, and reports from inside the country indicate clashes between protesters and police, with arrests mounting daily. While state media portrays the unrest as foreign-influenced, opposition groups say the demonstrations reflect deep domestic frustration. International reaction has been swift. Western governments have expressed concern over the use of force and restrictions on communication, while regional allies have remained largely silent. Experts warn that prolonged unrest, combined with information blackouts, could further isolate Iran diplomatically and intensify economic pressure at a time when the country is already facing sanctions and currency instability. For now, the protests show no sign of slowing, and the situation remains fluid as authorities attempt to regain control. Finally tonight, attention shifts to the Arctic, where renewed U.S. interest in Greenland is stirring diplomatic tension. Officials linked to the Trump administration have revived calls for the United States to acquire Greenland, citing its strategic location, military importance, and vast natural resources. Some statements have gone further, suggesting that national security interests could justify stronger measures. Greenlandic leaders, along with the Danish government, have categorically rejected any discussion of annexation, emphasizing that Greenland is not for sale and that its future must be decided by its people. The issue has alarmed European allies, particularly as it coincides with a broader shift in U.S. foreign policy. Washington has officially begun withdrawing from dozens of United Nations bodies, including organizations focused on climate science, population development, and humanitarian aid. Supporters of the move argue it reduces financial burden and reasserts U.S. sovereignty. Critics warn it undermines global cooperation, especially on climate change, an issue deeply connected to Arctic stability. Together, these developments signal a more unilateral U.S. approach to international affairs, one that could reshape alliances and geopolitical norms in the years ahead. Those are the major global stories shaping our world tonight. For continuous updates and in-depth analysis, stay with Artificial News 24/7.